to another look at a Battletech mech with SirLucien. We're going to go ahead and learn a little bit about it in Battletech, the tabletop game, and then we're going to go ahead and take a look at it in MechWarrior Online. And today we're going to look at the Firestarter FS9-H, which is one of the more popular variants for the Firestarter. So real quick, in this video, I think what we'll do is we'll take a look at the Mech Lab real quick, just so you can get an idea of its loadout. You can see we have a flamer and a medium laser in our right arm. We have our jump jets on both of our torso here, so right and left torso. Machine gun ammo and machine gun here, so just a ton of machine gun ammo. So 2 machine guns in the torso. We're sporting nothing in the head area. Center torso has our engine and 2 of our flamers. So, and then our left arm has a flamer and medium laser, as you can see here. So a 4 flamer, 2 medium laser, 2 machine gun loadout, standard heat sinks, no other upgrades other than that. Pretty standard variant. So why don't we go ahead and jump into a game. We'll do a quick play here real quick. And while that's loading, we'll go ahead and learn a little bit of the history of the Firestarter. So the Firestarter was designed by Argyle Technologies of Sky in 2550 to perform as an incendiary mech. The most popular and widely used version of the Firestarter, the FS9-H, would debut in 2703 and become the standard to which all other incendiary mechs were compared. The FS9-H was produced almost exclusively from its introduction up to the beginning of the Aramis Civil War in early 2776, with nearly 3,000 Firestarters in total seeing active duty. Because of the mech's popularity with all of the great houses, Argyle Industries continued to produce spare parts and new mechs prior to and during the Succession Wars, until the Argyle plant and headquarters was destroyed in the Third Succession War. When the company indicated that they would not rebuild the plant, Coventry Metal Works eventually picked up production. Though most regiments contained a number of, let's push ready here, of Firestarter mechs, they were traditionally not assigned to a lance, but to a company or a regiment at that level. The reason for this was that the mech had such a specialized role and it was deemed useless to assign it to lances. Though protected by 5.5 tons of armor and capable of jumping distances of 180 meters, with its 6 jump jets, this Firestarter could do little against medium or heavyweight opponents. Instead, a whole series of tactics were developed around its ability to start wildfires with skillful placed blazes, routing an enemy or covering a retreat and hampering any pursuit. Firestarter mech warriors were fond of setting a fire in heavily wooded areas, and enemy mechs advancing through it or any buildings within the enemy were sheltered. So we'll come back to that in a second and go to our match here. So in MechWarrior Online, we do have the ability to, use our flamers. As you can see, it builds our own heat pretty quick, but it doesn't really set a fire. So we don't have those tactics. What we are a scout mech, and we can be a hit and run mech, and we certainly cannot be a stand-up kind of fight mech. So in this case, in the canyons here, I think I'm just going to scout with my team. And it looks like they're all going to bunch up, though. So I might, let's go see if anything's going to come by on this right flank here. Now, I am not a very good light mech pilot, just so you know. So typically, if I run into other light mechs that are pretty good, they get the better of me. They are better at torso twisting and turning and moving in that kind of a fight. And a lot of times they're set up differently, where I'm just using the standard variant here. So I'm just going to make sure that nobody's coming around our edge. Looks pretty good. And if I can, I like to get behind the enemy if possible so that I can spot some of those guys, and then our missiles can go ahead and rain in on them. So I'm going to take this back route. Now, the style of play I play as a light mech doesn't get me a lot of damage points, and in MechWarrior Online it seems to be weighted heavily towards how much damage you're doing, or kills and then assists. So if you're really looking just to rack up points and C-bills and match score, you might want to take a look at other mechs. See if I can get up here. Oh, let's see. We'll let that come back up. Yeah, there we go. All right. Other mechs are going to be a little bit easier. Now, I have seen, not to say that people that drive lights can't get a lot of damage. I'm sure there are variants and setups that allow you to do it. I'm just not good at figuring those setups out. So there's their team. Who's really pushing our team. There's a lot of ECM over there, though, so I can't really spot if I had like a narc or something like that. But at least my team can kind of know they're there. Oh, somebody saw me. Another thing that can happen too is you can disrupt them. So sometimes with the light mech, you can go ahead and start capping their base to get them to turn around. And if too many of them are looking at you, they're not looking at your team, which can be nice. So I think that direwolf is turned and was looking around at me, which really is a good thing because then he's not firing at my team. If he's going to waste his time trying to get to me, well, that's not too bad. I can accept that. Oh, there's that guy though. So can we get out of here before he lights me up? So we'll go ahead and move. So scouting is part of your job, and typically, although in this video I turned the voice over IP off just so I could get the videos done without a lot of stuff happening. Let's just see if we can disrupt their formation here. See if we can get out of here without dying, maybe. See, again, they're fighting me and not the guys they should be fighting. So we'll take some shots here.
Target destroyed.
Now these flamers can help a mech overheat, although I don't find a lot of use for them in MechWarrior. But we'll see if he's going to go down before we get to him. I think that other guy was over here chasing me. Yeah, there he is. That adder. So yeah, here he is. So let's see if we can overheat him without overheating myself. Oh, I think I just took a full face shot of his PPCs.
Target destroyed.
And my team caught up to him, so there we go. So we'll let that finish out. And as you'll see, I won't get a lot of points there, but I feel like I helped my team. Points aren't bad, C-bills aren't bad. Damage done pretty low, though. And then team stats, your match score is what you're looking for as far as, it thinks I only did that. So my team might look at that and think I didn't really do much, but I feel like I did. So let's get back into our Mech Lab there. So talking a little bit more about the history here. Let's see. Let's jump back into... Yeah, so let's reread that part. So instead, a whole series of tactics were developed around its ability to start wildfires, with skillfully placed blazes routing an enemy or covering a retreat and hampering any pursuit, which in Battlefield you can actually do pretty well, because in Battlefield Tabletop, you actually have missions where you might be going against infantry, you might be going against regular vehicles and tanks and things that aren't necessarily mechs if you're just playing small skirmish level things. It also can help with certain types of objectives and things like that. Firestarter mech warriors were fond of setting on fire a heavily wooded area as an enemy mech advanced through it, or any buildings within which the enemy shelter was used, or other uses of the mech introduced performing scorched earth tactics. Although in later years they stopped doing this because of the dwindling resources it was deemed better to capture those resources than to destroy them. And they could also lead units of wasps and stingers into deep penetration scouting and light raiding missions. The policy changed in the late succession wars as it was found that the Firestarter performed well as a scout, able to not only start fires to prevent enemy from attempting to follow it, but also clear ambush areas for advancement of friendly forces. In the wake of the Forced Succession War, Firestarters also found themselves being assigned to lances and replaced for those losses of other light and medium mechs, forced the mech to perform in a more frontline role. This evolution was continued when the Federated Commonwealth unveiled a new version in 3049, the FS9-S, which featured a host of recovered lost tech to enhance its scouting abilities. So those manufacturings that were making this were the Argyle Technologies, Sky, Coventry Metalworks were the two main ones. The starting production year was 2550, and it's basically a 35-ton mech with an Argyle chassis. Armor is a Livingston Ceramics armor. Engine is a GM210. Communication system was a Cyclops 14. Targeting and tracking system was the Tansec C39-97. It did come with 10 heat sinks. Speed is about 97.2, and we did see that in the game. It ran right about that speed, about 97.2. And as you get your mastery level in the mech, that'll bump up a little bit more. Jump jets are the Luxor load lifters, and you have plenty of jump jets, as you can see, to maneuver around. Armament, again, was 4 flamers, 2 medium lasers, and 2 machine guns. And that is a little look at the FS9-H, the Firestarter. So pretty fun mech to play around with. The flamers are definitely a cool effect within the game. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you go ahead and hit subscribe. I hope you go ahead and put your comments in about your exploits and things you've done with the Firestarter. I'd love to hear, anybody that's out there, getting 9 or 10 kills with a Firestarter, those kinds of things. Would be really cool to hear about. You can put those down in the comments there. And we'll hope you guys stick around for more MechWarrior videos that are upcoming. And we'll see you in the next one. So thanks for joining. Bye-bye.